Passionate about music.
We are joined here by our life coach, Johnny Ball is with us. Hello, Johnny.
Hello, nice
Johnny.
to meet you.
Love talking to you.
Since we last spoke, I've gone a few more chapters into the Velvet Rage,
Right.
which is absolutely amazing.
Oh, yeah, we were talking about this. You can check out on our YouTube channel the conversation we had about that book, Velvet Rage. But you've got to...
Well, I'd love to speak. Yeah,
relationships, weren't we?
I'd love to speak to you about relationships and what we were saying last time about the false image you portray when you first meet someone.
No,
it's
you project.
You project. Sorry,
Yeah.
you project. It's not the real you, or someone you're going out with. You think, oh, they're wonderful, and then little by little you get to see the real them, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But why do we do this? Why do we project something that we're not? Because we know we're going to be found out, and the other person's going to be found out eventually as well.
Is it okay to go a little bit deep here?
Yeah.
Okay, have you heard of NLP? It's
Yes.
Neuro-linguistic programming. So there's a concept in NLP that perception is projection. So that we're always projecting out. So what we see in the world isn't the world as it is. We see the world as we are. So what we see back is always a reflection of what's going on inside of us. So your outer world will always be a reflection of your inner world.
Right.
So it's the same in your relationships as well. You project out onto other people what you want to see back to some degree for yourself, but also about where you are. And we've talked about this before into the focus thing when we talked about. Do you remember
Yes,
the
I do.
reticular activating system?
Yeah.
The things that you focus on and that you have in mind. In general life, we don't always have those focuses, but they're there to some level in our values, the things that are important to us. And that's all I mean by values. It's just the things that are important to you. So in your life, if you say, well, what's important to me in life? And you created a list of what's important to me, you write it all down and then think, well, what's the most important of that? Probably the top 4 or 5 things of those are the things that you would mostly be spending time and attention on. And if you're not sure, all you really have to do is look around you and see what's around you in your environment, your friends, your family, what your life looks like, because it will be a reflection of your values. But it's the same with your relationships as well. If you think what's important to me in a relationship, your relationships will be reflecting your values.
Should we all do this list, do you think?
Absolutely.
It's a really good idea.
Very valuable exercise. When I do relationship work with sometimes with couples, sometimes with individuals, the very first thing we do is sit and work on some values.
And when you say what's important to you, what do you mean? Do you mean like the usual friends, family? Do you mean that?
Can I ask you a personal question?
Yeah.
Okay, what's important to you about a relationship?
I was going to say animals. I had the wrong thing. Someone who understands you.
Right.
Yeah.
Would you say that's the most important thing?
Oh,
for
God,
you?
no, I can't do I've got to do my list. Well, I don't know, it's really hard to think, actually.
So this is why it needs a bit of time, because we so rarely turn the mirror up to ourselves and say,
loyalty, I would say, is my number one thing.
Great.
Loyalty.
So that's the thing you'd always be looking for in your relationship.
Yeah.
So you would sort automatically, maybe even without realising it, for people who you think reflect that quality and that value.
And then, because you're looking for that, it's that you would tend to attract people that are like that as well.
Very much so.
Oh, then.
It's not working.
I'm doing something wrong here.
Doesn't always work.
No,
like
it
that.
doesn't. But there again, you might be going out with someone who's projecting the wrong, not the wrong thing, but this image as well.
You could be seeing what you want
Yeah.
to see, absolutely. And this is what I think one of the biggest issues that I think particularly in modern days that people have in relationships, because so much is surfaced now in society. And I had a beautiful quote sent to me on Facebook a little while ago, which was, when you fall in love with someone's personality, everything about them becomes beautiful. And I thought that really touched me.
Yeah.
But then I thought, well, this is so important a message for these times, because I don't think that is mostly what people are falling in love with
Yeah.
other people. It's a lot of it's surface, a lot of it is really not going deep down into values or what's important or showing those times. We just see what we want to see and we don't dig deeper, often for fear of not finding what we want.
Well, can I ask you a personal question,
Please
Johnny?
do.
What would be your number one on that list?
My number one value in a relationship is love.
Oh, wow. Oh, I didn't even say that. Can I copy your work?
He's not Pooh David now.
Can we do yours, Neil? What would yours be?
I would say this. That's it. Essentially,
Yeah,
it's
but
love,
that's...
isn't it?
Well, let's
To
go...
get love. That's,
yeah, but love... Hang on a minute.
It starts and ends with love, really.
Well, does it? Because there are lots of different interpretations of that.
This would be the next stage, and if you were working with me, we'd get into that. What does love mean for you?
Yeah.
What does loyalty mean for you? So this would be the next thing to get into. And if you're in a relationship at the moment, it's really worth the time getting your own relationship values, but also speaking to your partner and saying, well, what are our values together?
Yeah.
True or false? You can't have a relationship with someone else until you're able to have a relationship with yourself.
You can have them, but they're not always going to be very good. If you have a bad relationship with yourself, then that will be reflected in your life for sure.
Yeah. Is there all of this stuff about sort of self-knowledge and understanding yourself, where that doesn't happen.
We're terrible at it, aren't we? We're poop.
Doesn't happen in school. I mean, there should be a thing where a life study
class.
Exactly, where this kind of you can work, so it helped to work you out before then you go and work yourself out with the rest of the world.
In fact, there was.
Yeah.
But this is why there's people like me in the world, that are out there to help people get these sorts of breakthroughs. I mean, my breakthroughs came from really a whole load of different areas and studying different things and going to different personal development courses.
But you chose to do that, didn't you? A lot of people just don't even realise that this is going on, and they don't even realise these things about themselves, do they?
Very, very much so, and it's often choosing to live in, to a degree, choosing to live in ignorance, but also sometimes it's better the devil you know than
the devil you don't. Or Kylie. Can I ask you another question, Johnny? You kindly recommended Way of the Peaceful Warrior by Dan Millman for me, which is brilliant. If you wanted to read more about this subject we're talking about today, have you got a book that you can recommend?
For relationships?
Yeah.
Gosh, now you're going to make me rack my brain.
Well, you can think about it and tell us next time.
I do remember a book, and I might struggle to remember the author's name.
I've got Google right here, don't you fear.
It's called How to Be a Happy Homosexual.
Oh, I love it already! How to Be a Happy Homosexual.
I should remember the author's name because he's quite awesome. And
I thought you were about to say it's you. I thought, gosh, you're so...
No.
Oh, here we go. How to Be a Happy Homosexual, a guide for gay men, and it is by Terry Sanderson.
Oh, that sounds good.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you for that recommendation.
And if we want to catch up with you, have you got a website? Can we catch up on Twitter?
I have, yeah. Please do. You can find me on Twitter, John A. Ball. My website is johnalexanderball.com, and I'll have something special up there for Gaydar listeners, so if you want to go and check that out, got a nice free gift up there for you.
Oh, wow! Nice. Check it out!
He's our life coach, Johnny Ball. We'll see you next time.
Passionate about music.